Hello friends, today is Gandhiji's birthday. We call it Gandhi-jayanti. So first of all, I will pay my rich tribute to this great soul who was amazing person and also amazing leader the world has ever seen. Let me tell you something about Gandhiji's, which is based upon my opinion and my thinking. Frankly speaking, when I was a student during my college days, I didn't like Gandhi that much. I think the same must be true with today's young generation as well. But I like to speak out to them particularly. Uh, Let me tell you my story. So I didn't like Gandhi that much in my younger days, but when I came to abroad, first in Europe and then in United States, I show such a admiration for him, and he was like he's kind of worshipped in both places. I don't know in India we could respect him that much. I start reading about him through internet, through his books, and also had a good discussion about him with other people. And that's really changed my perception because, of course, I was born much later in 71. You know, I had, it's not that I'm speaking based on I was having opinion based on my personal interactions, but it was through what the perception, what the society is thinking. So after living in United States for almost 9 years, my perception about Gandhiji is completely changed, and I really admire him now. Why? Just imagine the time he was born in India. India was a colony of British, who were the strongest, mightiest power in the world, and it need a courage, definitely a tremendous courage to fight against that power. If you see by yourself, we cannot think about fighting with our own government. We can't even, most of people can't even dare about to go against their democratically elected government. And that time he was born in that period when India was under British rule, and British was the mightiest force in the world, and he had the courage to stand up against that force. So that's the first quality, or first admirable quality, and that's because he didn't belong from very strong background. His family was not a very politically powerful, or he didn't have any power behind him. So he was coming from a very humble background, and then had a courage to stand up against that mightiest force in the world. Second, that time there's no internet, no that much television, no that much radio, no cell phone, no even phone, only the newspaper and little bit radio and little bit television. And he didn't speak many languages. He only knew Gujarati, Hindi and English. He didn't know many languages of India. Still, he able to reach every corner of India, be it a South, Kannada, Malayalam, Tamil, or in the East, Bengali, Assamese, or in the Kashmir, or in the North, Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, in central Maharashtra, Hyderabad, the, you know, all the people, he able to reach out all the people with have a different language. He able to communicate, let's say, the whole India. When at the time when we didn't have an internet and we didn't have a great communications. So that's the second most able quality of him. If you think about comparing today's leader, they can't even reach that much with having all this internet, Twitter, Facebook. Still, they cannot reach that much wide base. So that was another amazing quality of him. Third, his unique way of fighting the force, ahimsa, and that was, I think, is need a great amount of intellectual thinking before he decided, and I think he decided rightly, because that was the only way we could fight with British. We could not match the British force with our uh, means, or that one is mightiest force, and second we are poor, illiterate, and not very disciplined people. And we have seen the result in 1857 revolt. So there is no way we could fought with British with the force or with violent means. And also we could not unite, he could not have unite India with violent means. The non-violent, which every common man could understand and able to adopt without much difficulty. Non-violence, non-cooperation, ahimsa, asayog. It's every simple man can do it without needing any much resource or any much thinking. So that was a thinking of a great man in a very difficult period. So you will also agree with me with these three qualities, which is very difficult to have, and that's make Gandhiji great in that period. And of course we all know he sacrificed everything. He sacrificed his family life, his personal life. He couldn't care about his own sons. So he basically sacrificed his whole life for the country. And we aptly call him Rashtrapita, or father of the nations. So again, my rich tribute to these great souls, and I pray for his peace, and also will seek his blessing, that his blessings keep guiding our nation, the whole world, toward peaceful way of living and peaceful way of progressing and making development. So again, happy Gandhi-jayanti, the birthday of Gandhiji, to all of you, and have a peace, and let's move forward or keep forward his way of thinking, his way of lifestyle. Okay, thank you. Jai Hind.